Hello there. Welcome once again to Living on Purpose. My name is Fola Daniel Adelesi, also known as Fola Daniel Speaks. Today, I want to say to you that we all should be the change in our nations. It doesn't matter what your nation is, whether you're in Nigeria, you're in South Africa, you're in Kenya, you're in Mozambique, you're in DR Congo, you are in Uganda, you are in maybe America, you're in the United Kingdom, wherever it is, we should be the change in our nations. Many times we put the blame on the government. We keep saying that the reason this country has not changed is because government needs to do this, government needs to do that, government hasn't fixed this, government hasn't taken care of this. And at the end of the day, we simply forget the fact that the people in government are some of our brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles. Every one of them has a family, and one way or the other, we're connected to some of them. But beyond being connected to some of them, one of the things that we forget is that it is not just leaders that have a responsibility in fixing our nations. If the leaders do everything, and I've seen this play out repeatedly, if all the leaders fix everything they're supposed to be fixing in every nation, you'd realize that there are so many things that will still be left undone because followers themselves need to fix their attitudes, followers need to fix their mindset, followers need to fix their expectations. In some countries, when somebody becomes a leader, maybe a politician in an elected office, many members of his family would expect that he should fix them up in positions. Isn't that what they call nepotism? Many members of his family would say that he has done well if he's able to get them a job. But if he's not able to use his influence, his position, his authority to get them a job, they would abuse him. They would say he has not done well. They will say that he's stupid. He doesn't even know what he's doing. But if he stands by the rule of law and says that I will go with merit, everybody will work against him. But this is the same country, or these are the same set of people who want their country to prosper, to do well, to do better. But they expect that if their family members become politicians and are able to win elected offices, then the first thing that this person should do is to give them a job, help them make money, patronize their businesses, award contracts to them. All of us have a responsibility to change our nations. And if we don't do what is required to change our nations, there is no way our nation will change. There are quite a number of times when I would relate with people who work with the government, or some people who don't even work with the government. And I realize that the negative things that citizens are doing against one another is even brutal, is worse compared to what government has done or has refused to do. We definitely have to do better as responsible citizens. We can't work against other people. There are times when people hold on to the payments of other people and refuse to release the money. Somebody has worked for you. You know that this person ought to have been paid. You have the money. There is no reason not to have paid that person, but you chose not to pay. There are times when you look at people, you have an agreement with them, you have the resources to fulfill your agreement, but you chose not to. There are a number of other cases where you're supposed to pass a recommendation to somebody else. This person deserves the recommendation, but you chose not to pass that recommendation. Because you want somebody to bribe you, you want somebody to give you stipends, you decide to sit on their files and not pass their file to the next person. You deliberately remove their files from the batches of people that will be promoted. That has nothing to do with government. It's your greed, it's your mindset, it's the fact that you are wicked and you need to work on your own attitude as well. If we don't change as individuals and do everything humanly possible to promote ourselves, make lives better for ourselves, even if the government were to do everything, we're still going to be wicked towards one another. And so long as that one is still there, it doesn't matter what the government does, the nation will still not change. There are too many things amongst ourselves that we should do. Take for example, I drive on the road sometimes and I see people who would finish, full-grown adults would finish a bottle of water and throw it out of the window. You don't need anybody to tell you not to do that. If you're smart, if you have any iota of brain left in you, it's just common sense. You finish drinking your bottled water, you leave it in your car until you get to your next destination and dispose of it properly in a waste bin. There are too many things that we just do, like people, I don't want to call names, but there's just so many things that we don't need people to tell us to do. We should be the change. We should do things differently. We should start with ourselves. And if we don't do things differently and start with ourselves, and we keep hoping that one day the government is going to perform all the miracles, our nations will not change. While I am not excusing the government, I am not saying that the government should not do the needful. I am simply saying that it takes two to tango. If the government does his own part of the bargain, we also need to do our own part. We also need to be responsible citizens, responsible followers. Wake up, do your part. You have an agreement with somebody, honor it to the best of your ability. There are things you can do towards your fellow citizens that you are not doing. Have you done your part? Are you making life difficult for other people or making it easier for them? If you're not doing it that you should, if you're making life difficult for other people, then you need to start changing today. We all have a responsibility to make life easier for ourselves. Do all that you can to make sure that you are not part of the problem in your nation, but part of the solution. If you cannot confidently answer this question, if you're part of the problem or part of the solution, then you need to have a change of heart today. Make sure that you work towards being part of the solution of your nation and deliberately, intentionally work towards being the change that you seek in your nation. The government will keep doing its best. The government will keep working. The government will keep contributing. But are you the change that you're seeking in your nation? Until then, don't expect much from other people. Thank you. Please check out www.foladanielspeaks.com and please head on to youtube.com/Fola Daniel Speaks. Thank you.